This is gonna suck. You're gonna see my glasses are gonna slowly steam up as we go.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Ooh. Did you bring pants?
There we go.
Oh, living on the edge.
All right, let me open up my computer here. The one without notifications that actually have
Nice. By then, you won't be able to see anything.
topics for us to talk about. All right. Let's do this, shall we? I'm going to hit record. I'm going to mute Zelius for a second. And then we're going to go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. And Zelius has to cough, so I'll just say it's a late Thursday night hangout. Yes, yes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangouts, a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. At any time during the show, if you have any topics, questions, comments, opinions that you would like to share with the class, please drop it into the chat, be it on Facebook,
Yes, I'm
Twitch,
still
or
a little
YouTube.
bit under the weather. I will be coughing occasionally. I'll try to mute myself as it may or may not come.
Here's a quiz. Did Charlie just do things out of order? Yes, he did, because I forgot to say that I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific cover himself, Zelius. Slightly off. All right, so as you may have noticed, we have starting the show a little bit late, and it's because I
if there's a class, is there going to be a quiz at
but
the
I had
end?
a basketball game that I had to play in. We got our asses whooped, so I'm in a really fun mood right now. All right, so let's start off with the first topic.
I thought something was
something that Zelius
missing
actually caught
and
up
I
on
missed.
too, so I'm going to let Zelius talk about it for just a second. That, of course, is that one of the humongous conventions that's really, I mean, I've been to it once. It's a lot of fun. They control it. Oh my God, it's a cattail.
Well,
they control
it just sets you up for the rest of your
numbers, life. So it's not too crazy, and it's a lot of fun. And that, of course, is BlizzCon. Zelius, tell us what is happening with BlizzCon 2024. Yes, true. Yes, this of course is the convention that's held in Anaheim. I think it's now like always in Anaheim. I feel like there was like a couple years where they moved it, but now
Blizzard's like, hey, guess what? We're not having BlizzCon 2024. But wait, it might come back in the future. Just you wait for your pantalones to see what happens.
Yeah. So just. Yep. Yep.
That'd be my guess. Microsoft's like, do you really have anything to announce, or are you just going to tell people the game's available on your cell phone again? Because that went
StarCraft,
so well.
the MMO.
I mean, Diablo 4 is already out. We already know about the next 3 expansions for World of Warcraft. Like, unless they're going to, come out and be like, guess what? StarCraft Ghost is real. Like, what else are they going to actually announce at BlizzCon might be part of the question, too.
Besides the fact that they merged with Microsoft.
What, and break up the money trail of World of Warcraft? Nah. I mean, where do you get announced about Overwatch? More heroes. Wait, we're announcing that all the time anyways. So I wonder if that's part of it. It's just like, what is there actually to announce at BlizzCon this year?
We know many of you look forward to it.
Or what would have been BlizzCon
this year differently, and as we have explored different event formats in the past, rest assured
that'd be my guess. They just looked at it or like, what's the point?
Years. Yeah. just means that we get to bottle up that super awesome experience and let it ferment for a year, so it's even better for those over
I always
age of
love how
21
whenever something
in the
canceled, you
U.S.
try to like
and
spin it as it's
wherever
actually
your
a
legal
good
drinking
thing.
age
We canceled
elsewhere.
it, but wait, it's actually not a bad thing. Uh,
You talking about E3? Yeah.
or is it gonna be like some of the other like big industry conventions that never came back? They kind of canceled for a year, but like we're only canceling for 1 year. We promised, pinky swear, and they never came back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, I've never been to
Now,
BlizzCon,
speaking
but
of
I think it's a cool thing
conventions,
to
and
have
in the
when you have
state
a
of California,
devoted
there was a convention that
audience
happened,
like
I
that
think,
who wants to come to it.
maybe
And everything I've read
mid
about BlizzCon, it's a well
April.
run
And that
con
convention, of course, was Anime
for all
Nation
things
Fest.
Blizzard. So,
Now,
like, for people who really want to enjoy it,
this is
cool. But
not a very
it's not
well-known
something I ever really
convention,
planned on going to myself.
and if you do know about it, you probably know it because it is now infamous. Zealeus and I have actually participated in a convention much like this, where there was a lot of hype about it, and then when you showed up, it was absolute garbage. Basically, um, they were advertising it as a big gathering for anime lovers in the LA Convention Center, and they were combining it with a tattoo show. Yes.
Ooh.
So, but here's the thing: like a lot of like the big anime con like personalities that you would see at conventions, especially in the state of California, they
Oh,
were
all right,
asked
cool.
about,
Get a
are we going to
tattoo
see
of
you
your
at
favorite
this
anime
convention
character.
because
Sure.
it sounds awesome? And most of
Right
them are
there
like,
in Artist
as a
Alley.
social con local, I could tell you most of the cosplay community heard nothing about this con. The No one actually knew what the hell was going on, with the exception of a few billboards that were plastered with AI-centric art. And the couple of people who were there basically were um, had a table set up with one of those like what do you
Nice.
call them? The things you see by like dealerships. The wacky. Yeah, that was like it. So,
Ooh.
ladies and gentlemen, if you are doing a convention, I highly, unless you want to make sure your convention dies a horrible death, I highly recommend that if you're adding a theme to your convention or you have a theme for your convention, make sure that you actually
Oh yeah, the big
can
wacky air
support
things. Yes.
and get individuals who are important to that theme to your convention. Don't throw a convention and then get all pissed off when people have nothing but bad things to say about it. That too. That too. So, just had to get that out of the way. Well, I don't foresee. Yeah, exactly. I don't foresee you going to a convention that just pops out of nowhere in LA.
Or
That
overpromise
somehow,
on what you can deliver.
if it's in Atlanta, then I don't have anything to do that day.
Well, I'm glad I
You
didn't
know,
try
I'll
to go
just
to that
drive by
convention
it.
because that would have been epic sadness.
But speaking of conventions,
Especially
of
if we're
course,
going all the way to
MomoCon is
California
happening
for it.
in 3 weeks. I think that's right. Yep, 3 weeks. So if you don't have your tickets to MomoCon, go ahead. Remember that
Yeah.
this is slightly different than in previous years. In previous years, it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But because of some weird thing that's happening at the Georgia World
Maybe
Congress Center,
pop in
it's
and
going to be
see.
Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And unfortunately, Ultra Confusion will not have a panel there. But I will
Right
be
around the
there
corner.
as media. I just don't know in what media capacity. I might just be doing the group interviews this year. Who knows? We'll find out. It's gonna be a mystery. Speaking of mysteries, let's talk about the fact that Overwatch
Indeed.
2 is now cracking down on unapproved peripherals on consoles
Nice.
because of the it's unlevel. It's basically causing issues
It's always a
with
mystery.
a level playing field for all players. Now, you may ask, now what are these
Oh
unapproved
dear.
peripherals? That would be, of course, the mouse and keyboard.
You mean the Zim hardware that they've been trying to ban for the inception of FPSs?
Yep.
Indeed, because on the console, the expectation is when you're playing on a console, it is very clearly written on the rules. It's not like it's a gentleman's agreement. It's like written out, and I don't know if it's actually in the EULA, but somewhere it's written out where like you're supposed to be using your gamepad. And
Zealous is
I
covering
mean,
up a
it's
little
very
noise, but,
clear
you know,
that
just give
on
1 second.
the console that the keyboard and mouse is going to give
Mhm.
from the Twitch skill from like aiming and that stuff, you're gonna have an advantage using a keyboard and mouse, especially since it thinks that you're using the excuse me. Especially because it thinks you're still using your joystick, which has aim assist. So not only using your keyboard and mouse, you're also getting aim assist with your keyboard and mouse, which is not present on the PC version with the keyboard and mouse. Now, of course, on the PC, you can play with the joystick if you really feel like it. Nothing wrong with that. But on the console, it clearly creates a unlevel playing field, particularly at the top levels, where like you just can't make up that difference of what you can do with the keyboard and mouse versus a joystick. So I'm happy to see the Zimmers get the ban hammer. But the problem is over the long haul, it's a cat and mouse game. And as Blizzards and Microsofts of the world ban it, the Zim creators are just going to find a workaround to emulate the keyboard, to emulate the gamepad, to make it look like it is the gamepad input. Because how do you truly differentiate keyboard and mouse versus a gamepad? Is the age-old question.
About updates and DLC for Starfield.
Part of the issue is when you have physical access to a device,
I'm not going back.
it basically gives you the ability to basically do whatever you want, is really what it comes down to.
So the question I have for you, Zealous, is there ever been a game that has been mediocre in your mind, but all of a sudden,
I was gonna bring you back into the abyss of the solar systems to see if maybe the planets had come alive, or maybe the warehouses had 2 degrees of freedom instead of no degrees of freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I need to continue playing it, but I would say actually Cyberpunk 2077.
Right.
Now, I admittedly did not buy it when it first came out, but all the hype that came up with the expansions and the improvements actually made me like, oh, I should buy Cyberpunk 2077. And the couple hours that I put in were freaking amazing. So I do need to go back to it. So I would say that was one that actually, after the fact, got me into it based off of all the hype after the fact. But everything I've seen about, I think we talked about this before, where 2077 at least had a soul to the game already. It just had to fix the cruff.
One of the reasons
whereas everything I've seen about Starfield, like there's really nothing I feel like they can do at
it's a
this point to
soulless
bring.
game, is the fact that
Like,
I've
if
been
you're not a
playing
Starfield fan
a
already,
crap
it
ton
doesn't
out
feel like
of.
there's really a whole
I'm
lot they
gonna
could do
I'm
over the
gonna
overhaul and
mispronounce this
literally the
game.
entire
I do it.
game
I
to make you a fan of the game. Is the
I don't
impression
know
I
why
get.
even attempt it, but we're gonna try it anyways. Uiden Chronicle 100 Heroes, which is of course a spiritual successor to the Suikoden series. I've put over 50 hours in now. I will say this about the game. First of all, I heard that if you have it on the Switch, I'm sorry, but apparently it is absolute hot garbage on the Switch, which really doesn't make much sense because it shouldn't be like maxing out the Switch, so there must be some weird thing with the formatting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's one of those like you have the pixel characters with like really nice,
Oh,
3D backgrounds, but it's locked camera except when you're in the overworld, and you can basically spin the camera around your character if you want to. But yes,
that's why
yes,
it's curious,
ladies and
because isn't it
gentlemen,
more like the 8 or
uh,
16-bit style
the name
graphics?
there's in
Yeah,
the title
that's
100 heroes,
interesting.
and I have over 100 heroes. There's no way in hell I'm going to be able to get all of them. I will fully admit that I looked up to see how to get some of these characters, and there is so many there's so many freaking mini games in this game that feel half-assed. Like, oh, you know what would be
Nice.
cool if we did this? That's what I feel like in a couple of these games. Like there's in the game, there is a like a Beyblade mini game where you get these spinning tops that battle each other, and it's the best of 3, which is it really doesn't make any rhyme or reason what the hell's going on there. There's a racing game in there, which I absolutely suck at. The fishing mini game is not fleshed out at all. It literally is you go to a fishing hole and you drop your bobber in there. And once the bobber goes completely in, you have to hit your A button or X button, whatever, as fast as possible, as soon as the bait's taken, and then it automatically will reel in the fish, and then you keep going until the fish hole is empty, and of course it'll replenish over time. The one game that's actually kind of fun is there's a card game in there, and I'm not going to try to explain it because I'll butcher it, but it's actually kind of entertaining. It's something that I definitely went back to and messed around with. Oh, and there's also egg racing. It's these eggs with basically like velociraptor legs, and you can hatch them, and they'll have different stats, and you can give them special feed to make them go faster or be stronger or take on obstacles more. My youngest actually was very entertained by it. I got one of my eggs all the way to basically, I think, the race before the championship, and I just can't win it. And you only get a certain number of races before you have to retire the egg for breeding purposes. Yes.
Sounds like labor, like enforced labor camps.
Basically, yeah. I mean, see, to get the eggs, you got to kill the wild version of the eggs. Yep. It's dark, man. It's dark. Yeah.
Oh,
But basically, as I stated,
sounds like
it's Suikoden games.
labor,
you're collecting
like
a lot
enforced
of heroes.
labor camps.
Some of them you're going
for
to be
these
in
eggs.
a party. It's a party of 6. And there's your front line, your back line.
Oh dear.
And then you
This is
also
getting
get
this is
a
getting
bunch of
sad,
different
man.
characters to help.
That's brutal. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how I
do
feel about
different
this game
tasks
anymore.
within the castle. It's always a castle. Well, there's like a trans-dimensional portal that you go into. So, and I do have some undead characters. Well, I've got a necromancer and an undead character in my party. So it's one of those games where
Why not a crit?
at the top of the screen you see what action is going to happen when, and sometimes when you change it from just your regular attack, it might move your character's action further, up or down. And
So how's the actual like
it's
combat
not
in the
bad,
game?
but I feel like there's an imbalance early in the game when it comes to spells, because
Yep.
you can't go to like the general store and buy potions to replenish your spell points. The only way to, I mean, if you get lucky, you'll get a drop that'll give you like something that'll just give you a small amount of SP back. The only real way to do it is to sleep at an inn, which of course costs money. But overall, I mean, it's I enjoy it. I've got I definitely have my 6 locked in, but I do have a couple alternates that I can kind of swing in and out because sometimes there are 3 main characters in the game, and there are times where there are times where you have to take on missions where there are required characters that you have to take. Now, the nice thing is that they did give you an option. They do have 3 kind of like assistant spots, which basically means they're with the party, but they're not going to be battling with the party. So, but they also don't gain any experience from the fights if they're in that spot. They're just basically there for the ride. So just in case you have grinded a lot, and by the time you get to wherever you are in the story, all your characters are level 58. There's like a military battlefield, which I suck at, and it's vital to the story. But so far, thankfully, I've been able to.
Nice.
I've only lost once. Oh shit! And there's another mini game. This one's cooking, where random people that you have collected in your castle, 1, 2, 3, 4 random judges. You have to cook a appetizer, a main course, and a dessert for them, and then you're going up against a cook from what's called the Dark Dragon Syndicate, which apparently is like the mafia but for cooks. And you have to win enough in order to face like the uber badass chef, so you can win back your chef's wife, who apparently has been kidnapped by him. Yes. So yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. No.
Oh dear.
I don't know. Anyway, so
if I have a
yeah,
chef
I
and I'm
put a
doing
lot
all
of
the
time
cooking,
into
what do I
it.
need a chef
I
for?
think I'm getting close to the end. I think I have 102 of the characters. I don't know how
Seems
many
kind of
there are in
redundant.
total. There's more
Either
than
he's my chef or
108.
he's not, and clearly I'm a better chef than him, so I should actually just hire the syndicate
Yeah.
to be my chef.
It's like you're probably going to end the game with about 100 heroes.
That's what
Like I
I'm
said,
getting out of the story.
You need 100 heroes in order to level up your castle to the maximum rank. Oh, that's the other thing is as you level up the castle, you get more options, and those
I'm
options
hearing
allow
is
you
the
to
title is a
build
lie. It's not actually 100
the
heroes. It's
buildings
like give or take
or
100 heroes.
storefronts for all those people you're collecting. And sometimes you can't build that thing until you've actually recruited that character. So you can't just you can't have like the appraiser store without having recruited the appraiser first. But one really weird thing is though, if you're playing the game and like I said, there's times where the main character split off for different missions. If you walk around the castle, some of the characters that are not supposed to be there are just chilling in their room, and you're just kind of like, but when I go to try to form a party, it's saying you're not here.
Sure.
So what the hell, dude? Sure. But anyways, if you say so, Zelius. So, Zelius, I got a question for you. Are you still playing that? What is it, Balatro game?
Mm,
And is there any is
It's
it just the
their
same old, or is
ghost.
there any new wrinkles or?
They're just waiting, holding the room, so you can't take it from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, not as much as I was, but I'm still playing it some. Same old, same old. I know people are raving about how it's always changing, but to me, it's once you played it a couple times, I kind of feel like it is somewhat repetitive, like most
Oh,
roguelites.
I
That's just
forgot.
my opinion.
I know that
Um,
I think we
maybe
slightly
I need to
touched
play
on
it a
this
bunch more
before,
to
but
really dig
the
into
game that
the
I was
meta
just
and
talking
the
about, it went
strategy.
in
Maybe that's my problem.
whatever the hell you want
Is
to
I've
pronounce
not
that.
unlocked all the other decks
There was a
and
huge
cards
controversy with
and
the fact that
secrets that the game
when the physical
holds.
copies were sent
So
out,
maybe that is what I need
everyone
to do
had
is
to
play
pay
it more to
shipping, and
truly
everyone's like, "Well,
understand
no,
what
it
is going
didn't."
on in the game.
In the Kickstarter somewhere, in one of the updates, which of course no one can find it now, but in one of the updates, it said that all the shipping and handling are being taken care of, but we had to pay for it. And so I would just want to show you, or show the audience here, what the $9 shipping and handling got me, and it is a box with the game art on it, and this is the physical copy because it's the box, but inside. No, no, no. It's not a seed. It's literally a piece. It's a piece of cardboard shaped as a CD with your Steam key on it. So I paid $9 for this, which I can understand. That would slightly piss off. That slightly pisses me
Wait,
off,
I
but
don't
at the
have a
same time, I
CD-ROM.
was dying
How
to
would I
play the
play this
game
game?
anyways, and I needed to. The code was different than the closed beta
Oh,
code, and I really, 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 really wanted
well,
to play the game. So, and now I've really, 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 really played the
okay,
game.
that's actually kind of funny.
So there you go.
Mm,
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I would have thought that I would have been able, no matter if when my physical copy got here, that I would be able to have access to my CD code,
I mean,
which I did
unfortunately,
not. The
or
CD
whatever
code
the
was
case
in
is, like once
the
it
physical
happens and you have to
copy.
pay for shipping, there's not probably a whole lot of
So
recourse at that point.
yeah.
It's like, well, you can pay
All right,
shipping and
ladies and
get the
gentlemen, we're gonna
game
stop.
or
We're gonna pause real
not.
quick to do friends of the show. These are the amazing people who help Alter Confusion be the Alter Confusion that you love and adore. And so here we go. Well, let's start off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game
Yeah.
developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular
Hmm.
conferences as a traveling booth
Interesting.
to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself, Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. Now, the next one is someone who I kind of want to see really soon because I do have some aches and pains. Some of them are from gaming, and that, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus is to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself. That, of course, is Crosspad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion? CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. The last shout out we got to give is to the original backer of Ultra Confusion. That, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both the development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. And of course, if you are looking for an amazing book about Agile, also check out his awesome book. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know that at this point you are dying to know, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, it's quite simple. Ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion survives on the love and support of you, and that's why we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, zombies, swamp creatures, mummies, vampires, supporters, and more to become an active participant in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers that you can pledge at. There's the $1 a month, that's $1 a month, or $12 a year tier, and what that gets you is early access to the playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in patron-only posts. Now, if you're looking to get a little saucy and you want to see where your money can go, you also have a $5 tier. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. Not only get everything at the $1 tier, but you gain your name or organization added to every single Friends of the Show Thursday night hangout section. Wow, that did not come out right. Your name or organization added to our Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday night hangout. There we go. That sounds much better. So if you want to become a patron of Ultra Confusion, go over to Patreon. That's patreon.com/altered confusion today. Now, of course, some exciting news and something that we've done for many, many years. Ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion is proud to say that we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 13 straight years. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise makes the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion today. All right, now, back into it, shall we? So, some of you may vaguely remember that there was this crazy wackadoodle lawsuit from a tattoo artist who was trying to sue 2K Sports for having his tattoos being present in the video game, NBA 2K, and saying that, that's intellectual property. And I want a cut of the money if you are going to be showcasing my tattoos. Well, there is an update to that. And the update is Home Slice lost the case. The jury argued that a license to use LeBron James' image in NBA 2K implies his tattoos as well. So when the NIL, name, image, likeness, covers body art, and therefore the tattoo artist cannot
most reasoning
gain
behind it.
any royalties off of the display of that art.
I kind of agree with it because imagine the can of worms that opens otherwise.
Yes.
Does that mean like every single tattoo on every single player would start to get royalties?
Yeah.
Or what about LeBron's on the front page of SI? Does that mean that granted they don't have print magazines anymore, but once upon when they did, does that mean that I kind of agree with it because imagine the can of worms that opens otherwise. does that mean like every single
Yeah.
tattoo on every single player would start to get royalties? Or what about LeBron's on the front page of SI? Does that mean that
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
granted, they don't have
I
print magazines
totally agree.
anymore, but once upon when they did, does that mean that the artist should have also got royalties for that?
I would have been surprised if it went any other way. I
So
figured that's what it was going to be.
in that sense,
because,
I kind of have to agree with
you know,
that because otherwise,
it-
that's just a crazy Pandora's box
yeah,
of
the
claiming
it's on
copyright
the
ownership
individual,
of everything.
and if they got permission for showing that an individual, then that's everything about that individual. Though I am very curious about one thing, and I don't know enough about it, but if a player has signature shoes, I wonder if that is in the 2K or if they just have like generic team colored shoes on. Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if like 2K or whoever the developer is like has a separate licensing negotiation for the swag.
Yeah.
Then, if you're like LeBron, who's obviously a Nike guy, he might not want to be in say like my assumption would be the shoes are entirely separate type of copyright thing.
You probably see like
I wouldn't be
2K
surprised like if like 2K or
brand.
whoever the developer is like has a separate licensing negotiation for the swag. But then if you're like LeBron, who's obviously a Nike guy, he might not want to be in say like Reebok on a video game. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's funny because like when I used to play sports games, the pixels weren't good enough where you could actually see that kind of like data. Like you see that they had a shoe, it was red, and that was it. But you could actually see like a swoosh or the Jumpman logo or anything like that. Whereas nowadays on sports games, you do have high enough fidelity to be able to see that. I guess one kind of example would actually be so in a big issue actually like with wrestling is when they have sponsors like on the rings and stuff, when they're showing archived footage, they'll actually blur out old like agreements of advertising because those have lapsed. So it's not the same, but it's kind of the same. We have like these weird licensing agreements and has that all work out in the laws. So you do see that in sports sometimes, especially like pro wrestling, where you do see old advertising blurred out on the actual replays.
They are being tagged to write Disney's Space Mountain movie, a movie based on the theme park ride. Sure. I mean, it worked for what is the Jungle Cruise. But right, so I'm sure that they have a lot more freedom with Space Mountain, where they maybe their creativity and will shine and it'll be good.
I mean, it worked for
I would not allow them to touch another
Riverboat
beloved
Cruise
IP ever again after
thank
what
you.
they
It worked
did
for
to
Jungle
Cowboy
Cruise.
Because gosh darn it, I was so excited to see a live action Cowboy Bebop, and then I was so depressed. I still haven't watched all the episodes because it was that terrible. I think I made it 4 episodes in, and then I just washed my hands of it. I have not heard good things about that. Mm-hmm.
I gave the first one 8 out of 10. I gave the second one 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of watching Rebel Moon. So I have mixed feelings about Rebel Moon. As a preface, I gave the first one 8 out of 10. I gave the second one 6 out of 10. it's not the worst piece of cinema ever. But there are definitely parts where it's like, really? Like, damn it. Like, for instance, he, for some reason, uses these fisheye panoramic lens views at times. And when he does it, I'm like, something wrong with my TV? Because it just looks blurry because of the fish lens. And I learned, like, no, it was an artistic decision to use the fish lens. I'm like, it just looked like shit. It literally looks like your TV is broken during the shot. And then my other big complaint of, and it really showed, I think, in the second one more than the first one, is so kind of going back to the Snyderverse DC universe. One of my complaints was always he wrote unlikable characters. Like, they just were always like, it was the stark contrast to at least the first three phases of Marvel MCU, where like they were likable characters. Yes, they had their issues, they had the problems you overcome, because every good protagonist has to overcome personal conflict, etc. But like in the DC, it was just like, mope, my life is terrible. It is so hard. And so like he just never to me wrote likable characters in the DC. It's just that some of the movies were propped up by other good things. But then he's writing his own independent universe with Rebel Moon, which, yes, it's 100% ripoff of a ton of other franchises, 100%. There's like fake lightsaber fights and everything. But like, he has characters die. I know, spoiler alert. Characters die, and you're obviously supposed to feel something, but you're just like, oh, they died. Let's move on to the next scene. Like, you get like literally no connection with these characters at all. And you're obviously supposed to. I get it.
What? No.
But you just don't. And you're just like, wow. And the more you think about some of the decisions of the characters and like how the entire time in the second one, it's like, how are they going to win? How are they going to win? This is the dumbest thing ever. They literally don't have a chance of winning. And of course, they win. I know, spoiler alert. And it's just, but like, you watch it and there's like, no, this just isn't possible. I don't care. So yeah, there's just certain decisions, and it's just, yeah, the lack of having any likable characters, which seems to be now a trait of the Snyderverse, definitely really showed through. Now, the most entertaining probably part of actually Rebel Moon Part 2 was watching the reviews just absolutely rip it a new one. Actually, in large part, more entertaining than the movie itself. Oh, it was definitely saying something. Some of them were better reviews than others, like as far as being thorough and actually picking out like specifically what did not work versus just saying a generic it sucked. So yeah, it was, I mean, they're movies. There are times that have beautiful cinematography. There are a couple good fight scenes.
Just leave it alone. We good.
I mean, it's something I wouldn't tell people not to watch. Like, it's worth like one watch, but it's not something that people are going to be clamoring to watch over and over and over. Not at all. And of course, he's already talking about the extended cut. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Well, the dumb thing is, like, so movie theater, I get. Like, you kind of need a hard limit on a movie theater movie for reasons. So that makes sense to me. But like, it's a Netflix movie. Like, why can't the damn thing be 4 hours? Because like, you already have 2 parts. Just make it like Rebel Moon Part 1A, Rebel Moon Part 1, kind of like, actually, what was it? The Magnificent Seven?
No, but so, I mean, you know, best
the Magnificent Seven did it, the Quentin Tarantino. That's exactly what they did, is they made it into basically like a 4-part miniseries. And it worked well. Because it was so freaking long. Just like, what do you need a director's cut when you're already not in the theaters? It's kind of dumb to me. But
Netflix has had, at least in my opinion, the 2 that I've watched, the 2 live action adaptations of sacred anime. And yes, I consider Avatar: The Last Airbender an anime. Avatar: The Last Airbender the live action the live action Avatar, The Last Airbender. I haven't watched the entire season, but it's been good. It's stayed true to the well, I mean, it's definitely
Yeah.
moved a couple things around
I'm not
on the
gonna-
storyline,
I'm
but
not gonna
still,
split quibbles over
the
anime
characters
versus
are the
cartoon.
characters. They don't.
I don't care
They're
enough.
not adding weird ass like backstories like they did with the Cowboy Bebop. And then of course the other phenomenal live action is One Piece, which I still don't know how the hell they're gonna shove everything into season 2. I've heard that there's a Yu Yu Hakusho live action, but I have not. I mean, it's Japanese with that's dubbed, and I just have not had a time because I've been watching way too many other animes. And actually,
Nice.
funny side note here: the vast majority of the animes that I've been watching as of late are anime simply to screen them to see if my eldest is going to be old enough to watch them or not. So I'm bouncing all over the friggin' place lately.
Ah.
I've watched the first episode, and I need to go. And then I kind of got in a little bit of trouble because apparently I was supposed to watch the first episode with my wife, so I haven't watched any more. And I will try to find some time to watch the a couple. See if she likes it. If she likes it, then we'll watch it together. If she doesn't like it, then I'll continue.
So have you watched Fallout yet? Then
the first episode, all the stuff in the vault, I loved. When the stuff that happened outside the vault, I was just kind of like, okay. Now maybe more stuff will happen, and I'll be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. But as of right now, the vault stuff was the best. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've seen the first 3 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and I enjoy it, but it's also not like the greatest
No,
thing I've ever seen
mean,
on the planet either. Like, because a lot of reviews are making me like, this is the best thing
the
ever.
First episode
I'm
enough
like,
that I want to watch
it's
the second
good.
one, so that says something.
But yeah, like I'm not like required to go binge it like right now.
But
as
at
we're
the same
doing the
time,
show
I'm
at the
also
same
juggling
time. Like,
Kaiju number
I'll get
8.
around to it.
Solo Leveling, that first season is over, so I don't have to juggle that anymore. I feel like there's another one whose season ended, and I was just like, no.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
let's rewind to when I first got into anime. A lot of the series, it was 26 episodes, and you done. Yeah. The vast majority of the anime that I own basically end in 26 episodes. No, it's not. We're not talking about One Piece, which has, I think, at the time of this recording,
it was a
1,000.
You were done, yeah.
83 episodes, I think. Yes, and of course, close behind it with I think like 700 is. Well, here's the thing.
You don't have
here's a question for
400
you, Zealy.
seasons.
Okay, so if we're counting episodes, One Piece, it's always One Piece. The characters they actually grow up throughout the thing, okay? But it's truly One Piece.
That's a lot.
But then you have like series like you have Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z and then Dragon Ball Z GT and then Super Dragon Ball. Would you put all of them together, or are they all their separate entities, even though it's in the same universe, even though there's going to be character crossover?
I would put them separately. To me, it's like NCIS.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have like NCIS, Hawaii, Las Vegas. I don't even know what the other ones are.
Let's see, NCIS, New Orleans, Hawaii. I think that was it. they've been axing a lot of.
I would put them
of
separately.
those
To me, it's like NCIS.
letter shows.
Where you have like NCIS, NCS Hawaii, Las
hmm
Vegas. I don't even know what the
Mhm.
other ones are. Anyway, New Orleans. Apparently, Hawaii just got canceled, I guess.
Right. Right.
But to me, it's kind of like
Mhm.
that, where it's like you have the core story and you
So
have
it's kind
crossovers,
so it's the same as
and they're the same type of core story.
let's say. Well, I'm gonna
Um,
real. This is
but
going.
they're
I
separate. Now
think
you
the
could
vast
also,
majority
I mean, you
of
could
our
say like, all
audience
the
this will probably fly over
NCISs
their
have
heads,
like
and this might still fly
1,000
over our
episodes.
heads.
I'm
And I'm
fine
the
with
one who's
that.
saying it.
But
It'd
when you
be
look at
like
it, I would
you
look at
don't
like how many
count
does NCIS have,
episodes
which is
of
separate than
Cheers
NCIS,
and
LA,
episodes of
etc.
Frasier as the
That's how I
same
look at the
thing,
Dragon
even though
Ball
that
situation. Kind of the same thing.
it's a spin-off. Yeah. Ooh, that's true. That's true. hmm Be like counting what's the big three now? Chicago Fire, Chicago something. I don't know.
Oh, not even close. That'd be like counting JAG and
I
NCIS.
don't remember there's three. It's basically there's a show for each of the emergency services. There's
Jeez.
yeah, whatever. Anyway, so but yeah.
I saw when I had the Peacock subscription, I saw those and I was just like, nope, too much. Not going down that rabbit hole.
My brain has just like flip flopped.
I think it's fire, medical, and I guess
I can't remember what I was going to say now, Zelius.
Chicago, yeah, police.
Oh Lord. See, yep, that's I'm going to blame Zelius constantly coughing as throwing my train of thought off. Have you jumped back into Helldivers 2, or is that dead now to you?
It's the story of my life. I probably just coughed it up.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, okay. So I got one more story for everybody here, and this one is I don't.
I have not yet.
I mean, this is cool, but
today was actually the
I'm
first
very
day I played video
confused.
games in like
And that
3
is
weeks.
that
Between being out of town and
7-Eleven
being like
has
dead to the world.
just announced that it is
So,
going to release
now I
its
must
own
jump back
handheld.
into the deep end.
The 7 it will how do I describe this? It's a $30 handheld gaming device in iconic Slurpee cup design. It's a collaboration between 7-Eleven and Tetris.
Does it come with a Mountain Dew like hookup?
Oh man, it's I don't well the thing is I have like the I've had the Quick Trip equivalent of the Slurpee.
Do I need a Slurpee. That'd probably help my cough.
7-Eleven's not really an Atlanta thing or
it sounds really good right now.
Yeah, man.
I also don't remember honestly the last time I had a
Slurpee. One experimental Quick Trip without the gas portion closed its doors. It's like I don't understand.
Yeah, because like I don't even know where 7-Eleven around here is.
It's a convenience store.
I like my Quick Trips.
Okay, so real quick, the system will look like a Slurpee cut in half. Okay.
At that point, yeah.
So that you
I go there just for my yummy like they have a really good
flat surface with,
barbecue bacon ranch chicken sandwich.
Let's see here. The D-pad, 2 buttons. It will have a glowing top. It is a 1.8-inch color screen. It has a built-in speaker. It is powered by 3 AAA batteries or USB-C cable. and the release date is to be announced. Yep, just Tetris. Yeah. Yeah, I can't, Sure. I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way
And it
to
plays
find this
Tetris?
thing, but if I accidentally stumbled into it at
It plays
7-Eleven and I
Tetris, is
saw
that
it
it?
there, I'd be like, huh.
$30 to keep getting entertained in the car?
Or it'll just be at your local Goodwill store. But yeah. Interesting. Fun. It's always
At
fun
some point,
to
we'll pull
have
out the end of
weird
clearance rack for
collaborations.
$10.
It makes the heart grow fonder. No, that's absence.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. That's true. Though I do have like a Quick Trip right down the street, so I'll just go there and get my killer energy power mix. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have breached the 10 o'clock
it's
hour,
another reason to
and I
go to
know
7-Eleven and
that,
get a
Zelis
slushie.
and I are old gentlemen, and we need our beauty rest. So I think we are going to end the show here. But I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelie, it's been a pleasure giving everything on our heads, our mouths, and of
It
course,
is much easier for me.
our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. Amen to that, brother. Okay, real quick, I just want to point
Remember,
this out.
kids,
and
keep
this,
on gaming
this kind of
in the
makes
free
me a little
world.
bit sad. You know how on Steam they give you the achievements. It also gives you like a percentage of like who's completed it. Yeah, so most of my achievements are single digit, like percentage. Like the amount of players who have the game.
Yep.
I don't know how many players have the game, but out of all those players, I am part of the 2.4.5% of the players who have maxed out the castle. Yeah. So, and let's see. Wait, hold on. Wait, where's that one? Anyways, so yeah.
Nice. You are Odin.